All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday for women visionaries in transition who really want to cultivate a strong foundation of self-care practices that allow them to achieve more in less time with less stress. I am the change guide for growth that streamlines your journey to authentic expansion, joy, and ease. And we are jumping on for my Visionaries in Transition Facebook Live series, where I interview the amazing and inspiring impact makers in my network to discuss the transitions that have shaped our lives and our businesses. So if you're joining us, please make sure to like, share, comment, or subscribe. If you're on YouTube, let us know that you're here. And today I'm talking to Christine Tyler Pell, who is with COO Inc. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thanks. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah. I mean, we just had a wonderful conversation last time. So I was like, we need to publicize this.
Yeah, yeah, we're chatty Cathy's. So feel free to cut me off anytime.
Yeah. No problem. So tell me the backstory. How did you get to where you are today?
Yeah. So I am an accountant and finance strategist, but I don't know if I should have been an accountant. I grew up the oldest child in a big family where one parent was an artist and the other one was a nuclear engineer. And even though we always had plenty to eat and, we were never struggling, I grew up terrified of retirement, that I wouldn't be able to afford to have a family. I was always scared of the future and felt like I wasn't going to have enough money. And all of my siblings, I guess, didn't get that memo and they became artists and I became an accountant.
The one responsible one.
Yeah. I was like, well, I gotta make sure this ship stays afloat. So I will get a job in math. Because I do genuinely love math. So I worked in nonprofit, in public accounting, and that's tax and audit, in corporate settings. And I was like the textbook picture of imposter syndrome the entire time. Part of that is because I tend to think more strategically than tactically. So in all my jobs, I would like create systems to remove the need for having laser vision on financial reports, but my job was still to have laser vision. Like there's no way to avoid that in accounting roles. But as I kept pretending to be a good accountant, I was able to ascend the ladders. And then, as I got higher up, my strategic focus was appreciated. And eventually I did become a really good accountant. And the other reason that I felt like an imposter was that I had several negative human experiences. I lost my job while I was on maternity leave and had been planning to return to work, which was really demoralizing. And in another case, I was sexually harassed out of the company, which totally destroyed my confidence and had these experiences back to back. And it was crushing, even though I like logically knew I was good at what I did. It's hard to believe that.
Totally.
And these are just, the most blatant examples. Of course, there's like the recruiters who were like, oh, you should be asking for way below what Glassdoor is saying the salary range is, and dirtbag bosses who are like 50-plus-year-old guys who are like sleeping with their college age employees, staring down my shirt, So it's really led to me being really passionate about believing women when they say that something is wrong and making sure they feel like they belong in the room. And not just that they belong in the room, but I want them to feel powerful as hell in the room. And I also want to note that when I say women, I am including trans people. There's no shorthand for like everybody except like white, cis, able-bodied men. We really need like one term that could encompass that.
Yeah, I mean, the others.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody, people who feel marginalized often. So that's how I got to where I am today. I founded my company and that's really what I do. I help people who own businesses go from business owner to CEO and help them start making data-driven decisions and feel really confident and clear about their plans, even when they go to Thanksgiving dinner with their super judgy CPA uncle,
Yes. Yeah. Or the aunt that's like, what do you actually do?
Yeah.
What
but when are you going to get a real job, or what is this?
Like entrepreneur thing, it's a phase, right?
Right. It's cute. It's entrepreneur. Great.
It's like, how's your little business doing?
Oh my God, the little business.
I
am lucky that in my family, I don't get a lot of that. My grandfather started a computer building company in the 60s. So it was like prime time, like
Nice.
amazing timing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like personal computer building. And like my mom has started so many businesses. Her mom has run a bunch of art stores, and there's a lot of entrepreneurial spirit. So in my family, I don't have to hear it as much, but I know that that's a common thing.
Yeah. I mean, as a woman in the world, we get a lot of unsolicited advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether we're an entrepreneur or we have a 9-to-5 job, whether we like math, whether we don't like math.
Yeah. Literally, there's no way to do it right. You're going to be wrong no matter what. So yeah, there is also a lot of mindset of like knowing which of your stakeholders matter and which of them are just noise.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love the term stakeholders because that reorients your perspective on your close relationships.
Yeah.
Like people automatically think that they have to include their close family members in that close circle. But when you shift that perspective to these are the stakeholders in my life, then you can evaluate like, are they actually, doing the things that they should be doing for you?
Right. Yeah. You can rely on some people for like love, but probably not to get hyped up about your business idea. They're not going to bring the energy back that you need. So yeah,
exactly. But that's why we have conversations like this.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So tell me about the transitions. What shaped your journey?
So definitely the pandemic has been the biggest thing. When the pandemic started, I was working at my last job at a company in California, and I was there for 6 years, and it was amazing. I loved it. But it was in California in the San Francisco area, and the cost of living is insane. And our family is primarily based in the Mid-Atlantic area, so Delaware, DC. And we really missed them. And we also missed having reasonable commute times and financial flexibility. Like we could not have afforded for me to start my business in California. We were riding too close to the line at all times. So we moved back here outside DC, and now we have like soft grass. And the ocean
yard.
Yeah, it's an amazing yard. And the ocean is not frigid. Sometimes you actually like going in the ocean, and there's room for us to work from home comfortably. And so it's really enabled me to set up my business the way that I want. And it's been amazing.
I love that. I mean, the pandemic was a huge transition for, I think, literally everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. And you would think, oh, is it motherhood? No. As I wanted to go back to work so bad. I was home with the kids for several years, and I just kept like, every day I was like, why am I so upset? Like, why don't I like this? Everybody's talking about how they want to like quit their jobs and be with their kids, but I hate this. And I felt like I was a bad mom. And I went back to work, and I was like, oh, right. I could just talk to grownups. I'm like a way better parent when I get to talk to grownups all day.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I think about the artist lifestyle sometimes too. Like my mom was an art teacher for 25 years, and she always had the ambitions of, becoming the real artist and like, living off of her works and stuff like that. And I think about it often, like, would I be happy just like painting all day or writing all day? And I'm like, I don't think I would.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there is any single method of expression or creation that could fulfill a person. Like I'm amazed by, I know people who are like, I'm a musician. This is all I want to do all the time.
Eat music.
Yeah. I'm like, but how? Like, you don't even want to switch instruments. Like, this just seems so boring. I mean, it's all beautiful. You're doing great work, but I just don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why we're both in the change space, though.
Probably.
Like, I was actually talking to my coach about this morning, and I was like, I can't do long-term things. Like,
I know.
It's just like physically impossible. impossible for me.
Yes, I know. And I initially was offering like full service, like doing all the bookkeeping and like the financial reports and like, sitting down at the end of the month to do financial analysis. And I was like, oh God, I don't want to though. I mean, which was also good because like my skills are higher level and it's like a higher value offering to just stick with the finance piece, but like the pressure of having to do like the ongoing everyday stuff is like, I'm not doing that.
Totally. Yeah, which brings me to my next question is like, what lessons did you learn through the transitions, like along the way?
Oh man, starting a business in the pandemic. It's been interesting. And starting a business in the pandemic after moving all the way across the country and having to rebuild my community. Also,
like transition.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also was diagnosed with ADHD during the pandemic. So, I've had to be like rewriting sort of my self-perception of how I spend my time. There's so much like bro hustle culture in entrepreneurship.
I'm so glad you just said that. Bro hustle culture is going to be my new term. Like that is perfect.
There's so much like rise and grind, and you got to do that. You got to be up at 4 a.m. and run half a marathon, and eat 17.
Read 2 books a day and meditate for 2 hours twice a day.
You do this, you'll be successful. Like, all right. Yeah. It doesn't sound like I'd be very successful, but whatever. But I have been exposed to that sort of thinking and have embraced a lot of it, especially, now sort of learning how in the past I've been masking and didn't realize it was masking, just figuring like I can lean into like having more structure and more rules, and now sort of trying to detangle like which systems are beneficial and which ones are just masking. So that has been really interesting to learn. And also, especially with my own clients, a lot of them either have ADHD or have a lot of behaviors that ring similar to ADHD. And it's been
divergence is a spectrum.
Yeah, like there's
so much under that umbrella.
Yeah. And it's been surprisingly therapeutic for me to work with my clients and figure out what kinds of systems we can create that help them to stay on track and to make sure that they feel like they have control of their finances and keep up with their accounting without dreading it, and to help them not feel like they're imposters and to empower them. All those things have been really helpful to me. And it's not something that I would have been able to learn if I had been, driving to an office every day and getting up at 6 to go work out, or actually at 5 to go work out at 6 and then be at my desk by 7:30. Now I can just sort of feel into what my energy is doing every day and still have a healthy business, which has been amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. Is like structures have their time and place. Like I'm actually an advocate for using structures and systems to free up space.
Yeah.
Because then you have more free time for that flow that you're talking about. Like you can just trust that the system or the structure is taking care of what it needs to be taken care of. Then you have the ability to, like, I do this with my free time. Like my on work time is so intricately structured that I have massive amounts of free time, because I can just be like, all right, that's taken care of. And I don't have like that tab still open in my brain.
Yeah.
And then I can, spend the entire weekend in my bed doing whatever I want. Like,
yeah, totally. I mean, human beings thrive on routine and structure as much as we want to, people don't like to admit that. They want to feel like, the unique snowflake. And you're a unique snowflake, but also like sleeping when it's dark out is good, That's what your body wants to do.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So speaking of, what kind of specific tools or practices or structures did you use to support yourself?
Therapy. Gonna go with therapy, like a lot of therapy.
Yes.
Yeah, I talk to a therapist weekly, and it's, so important. And a few years ago, I actually was having a really rough time. And a friend of mine who's a therapist she heard some like key words in what I was saying, was like, I think you should try DBT therapy, dialectical behavior therapy. And it was life-changing. I don't think it would be an exaggeration to say that it saved my life, but the tools that I learned in DBT therapy are like just insane. I mean, before it was, everything was either blaming someone else or blaming myself. So it was all, there was just no acceptance.
Totally.
And, you get stuck in that loop of like, who's wrong, instead of just being like, well, here's where we are. And
yeah, totally.
You want to change it? Great. Let's change it. And so that was hugely impactful. I would recommend everybody going to DBT therapy, but man, mental care in this country. Wow.
Right. Yeah, when people ask me like what advice I would give to my younger self, or like what advice would I give to myself when I first became an entrepreneur, like whenever that question comes up, I'm like, go to therapy.
Yeah. I know.
That's my answer. Go to therapy.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some things that are like therapist thoughts, and there are some things that are talk to your best friend thoughts. And sometimes your best friend should say, go to therapy, because I'm not a professional here to validate you, but it's not my job. The other things that I use are, I do Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning as often as I can, which is the silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and writing framework. I can't always get it done in the morning. Sometimes I have to spread it out over the whole day, sometimes at night. But I think that having the practice of writing, even if it's nonsense, and having meditation built into every day is just so important.
I mean, structure, like
right. Structure.
We are creatures of routine. Like I always think about that with dogs. Like you mentioned you got cats before we jumped onto this call, and it's the same with cats and dogs. Like they are creatures of routine. Yeah. And they will tell you when it's a certain time in the day. They're like, it is time for this because you do this every day at the same time. And I'm just like, that's how we work.
Totally. Yeah, it's comforting to have routine and to have frameworks that you can operate within.
Totally. Any other tools or practices?
I try to go outside and hike as much as I can. I love hiking, but with 2 kids, it is measurably terrible, compared to not with kids.
I thought you were going to say measurably challenging, but I just love that you went straight to terrible.
I thought about it. No, it's just bad. They don't want to wear the right shoes. They just want snacks. They want to bring stuffies. Like, why would you bring a stuffy? That's going to be impossible to clean, and you're absolutely going to drop it in the mud. Every single part of it, it's hard. So it's not as delightful as it used to be, but they're getting bigger. We're getting back to it. We're trying to make it more typical and less fights, but it's a process.
Yeah. And I think it's also worthwhile to do like just mini nature breaks too. Yeah. Like if the hike isn't doable, like I actually spend probably like 30 minutes a day outside, but I break it up like 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at lunch, 10 minutes when I get off of work, because I need those, like, I need to go just stare at a tree breaks.
Yeah. Luckily, I mean, for me with our Maryland house, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Instagram stories, but sometimes I'm just like, this is my view all the time. And it's just floor to ceiling windows. And somehow, I mean, we just got so lucky with this house. It's like a freaking nature preserve back there. So
awesome.
Yeah. It sometimes lets me off the hook of going outside, but I should actually go outside. So yeah, I got to build it in more.
I mean, it's easier with dogs because they have to go outside.
Right. Yeah, I know. We have so many fewer steps now.
Mm,
It's insane.
yeah. Dogs keep you on your toes. Like cats are pretty self-reliant at the end of the day, but dogs, they're like, no, I need your attention like multiple times a day.
I mean, these are pretty needy kitties.
Mm.
If I'm on the scale of, like 1 to cat, they're more dog than cat, I would say. But they're I mean, they're also like only 10 months old or something, so they're still pretty little, maybe 11 months old. But yeah, they're so cute. Bill and Ted, and they, as soon as the kids are in bed, they have little slap fights. I want to make them a phone booth scratching.
What is that move? We're like,
yeah. Yeah.
We're
Excellent
about
to
Bill
each
and Ted's
other.
Excellent Adventure if the audience isn't aware with that.
Yeah. And if you're not, go watch it immediately. And forgive it a little bit of homophobia, just like the tiniest bit of homophobia, but otherwise holds up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a product of its era.
Yeah, so. It's better than most movies of that age.
That's true. That is very true. And it was like, young Keanu Reeves, which we all are like here for.
Obviously. I mean, is Ted my favorite cat? Yes, he is. Not an accident.
I love it. All right, cool. Well, anything else we want to add before we wrap up for today?
I don't know. I think I've covered most of my stuff. I guess I'll like post links or whatever.
Yeah, I'll put links in the chat. It also goes up on YouTube, so the links will be in the description for that for the YouTubers out there. Perfect. But per usual, we're talking about powerful stuff today, like all of these transitions stacking up on each other. I mean, this is the life that we live through, though. Like, this is what real life looks like, especially for entrepreneurially inclined women, because we have a lot on our plates.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. We are rising and grinding, just, not in the way that you think that rise and grind should probably be.
Yeah. Rise and flow.
Right.
Rise and fun.
Yeah. Maybe less rise, let's stay in bed.
Horizontal.
Yeah.
And grind.
What would be the opposite? Is that like recline and grind?
And we're getting into like different topics at that point.
Yeah, that's a different half hour.
All right. Well, I mean, per usual, we encourage the audience to share your own thoughts and feelings and insights and stories with us, because all of these transitions we can relate to in some shape or form, and they impact us in many different ways. So special thanks to Christine for joining me today. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and I'm always looking for more guests. If you're interested in coming on this series and sharing your own perspectives, please reach out to me. I'll send the sign up link. But we are currently booked out until the end of October right now with this series. So my recommendation is don't wait to reserve yours, because we'll probably be booked out till February by the time we get to October.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I can't wait to chat with you all. It's a great lineup that we've had so far. And in the meantime, please comment, like, subscribe, and share. Check out Linktree/Liminal Clarity for all of my links. And then where can people find you, Christine?
COOincorporated.com.
Awesome. And I'll put those links in the comment section for sure. And then until next time, please remember that your extraordinary self is wonderful, and it is extraordinary, and you owe it to yourself to create the elevated life that you know you are capable of. Take care, everyone.
Bye.